Hello everybody and welcome to another Transformers third-party review, thanks to the guys over at Robot Kingdom. Today we're taking a look at another figure from the TFC Hades line. This time it's H-03 Cerberus, aka the Breast Force member Jallguar, with his partner Jaguar Breast. Like with the other boxes in the series, the box art itself is very minimalistic. On the back of the box we have him in his robot mode, in his buggy mode, and of course showing us that he forms the lower part of LioKaiser's torso. Out of the packaging, TFC genuinely continue to impress me. I stand by my statement that this is the very best combiner they have made to date. Every single figure they've delivered for this combiner is unique. They look fantastic. They have so much character. And I am getting people comment on my videos saying they don't care about the combiner. They'll actually buy the figures individually just for those bots. They like certain characters and they want that in their collection. That's one of the first combiners they've done that with, that people are prepared to go out and buy individual figures and not worry about buying the whole set. Now I love how stocky and robust Cerberus is. That's a fantastic nod to his original G1 toy. It was a brick, and it was an okayish brick at a push, but he was an essential part of LioKaiser. What a gorgeous head sculpt this guy's got. They're capturing so much character in their faces now. Look at that. He looks like he means business. Gorgeous paint applications on this. Love that really vibrant red. We do get some translucent plastic on the hands. We all know I'm not a fan of translucent plastic, but TFC apparently are. And I'm not going to knock it actually, because it doesn't look that bad on this guy at all. It's nice to have his hands glowing. We do get some translucence underneath here as well. We get it on the hip skirts. It doesn't feel any thinner than the normal plastic at all, so no worries there about it breaking. We do get some light piping on the back of the head as well. It's hard to capture the light on this camera. You just about see it coming through there. Again, like I mentioned in some of the previous videos, they haven't gone over the top with detailing. There's enough there to give us a Cybertronian kind of tech look, but they haven't literally obliterated the figure with way too much detailing, taking away the fun and joy from it. Nice amount of back kibble there. That's a nice backpack. That's what a backpack should look like. Integrated into the robot mode, nothing just hanging off there. I don't mind the tyres on the elbows. That's nice just having them hang down on the back of the arm. Back of the legs are filled out. You can see they're hollow in there. We do have the closed off section, and you can see we do have some visible pegs on the inside of the knees. Like the rest of the breast animals, Jaguar Breast is pretty much straightforward. It's very similar to what we've got from the Masterpiece Ravage, although this guy's head does seem to hold together a lot more. Again, would have liked a tab just to tab those in, but it's a fairly nice animal. We can kind of get those back legs straightened out a little bit, kind of get some sort of running pose going on. And for those of you wondering about scale, here he is with Masterpiece Ravage. That just looks silly. Now, the Breast Force don't have individual weapons, they do just use their breast animals, so like the others, you just fold the arms upwards. This head section here is going to split. We can just move these down. I believe it was Sam who commented on my Facebook post saying you can literally maneuver these arms around a little bit and you can get some slightly better weapon poses, but I believe the official transformation for the weapons are something along that sort sort of line, and you've got this peg here which sits down. But he kind of manoeuvred his legs around a little bit and gave it a little bit more length and width, and we all know length and width is important. So let's just pop that in his hand. There we go. Now that does look freaking sweet, doesn't it? I like that. And here is the team thus far. Isn't it refreshing to have 4 very unique, different bots? Some of the other third-party companies out there kind of reuse the same arms or the same legs. LioKaiser was a very different, very unique combiner, and I think TFC are really managing to capture that. I mean, they're all different heights, they're all different shapes, sizes, and builds. I honestly cannot wait to get the other 2 members of the team. Right, now, let's cover his articulation. The head moves left and right. It tilts forward, but that's the whole chest section tilting forward. There is no up and down motion on that head, I'm afraid. I still absolutely love just the attention to detail there. Anyway, I'm digressing. The shoulders can go up and down. Squeaky, squeaky. But they do go all the way around. Not really sure why that's squeaking. I think it's probably just a little bit too tight. I could probably loosen that one of these screws at the back here. We do get a nice rotation at the lower elbow. We get a double jointed elbow as well. That's always good. We get a waist rotation. Quite a high waist rotation, but very effective. We have these hip skirts. Forward all the way, back all the way, because the rear bum skirts do lift as well. We can bring the legs out, and that ratchet is phenomenal. Brilliant. I mean, that's good, because they're going to be used for our combined mode, and that is a really, really good ratchet. The lower leg does rotate, as do the wheels. They move independently. We have a bend at the leg, and bringing this joint back, we can actually get a very, very deep knee bend there. Again, that's part of the combined mode, but hey, we get to benefit from it in his individual robot mode. There is tilt on the front of the foot. It is literally just the front, which is ball jointed. So you can get the deception of a very wide stance, but it doesn't actually bend itself. It does go forwards and back. The feet do go up and down. And this raised back section here, that's long enough to get a very, very sturdy stance. It's one of those fun figures you can just keep messing around with, posing him in different positions until you find something that kind of captures that intelligent aggression that he has. Here he is with his breast animal on his chest. Again, like with the rest of the series, it's a nice break up. The actual chest underneath this is quite bland in comparison to what we have here. Just that gold on there really doesn't break it up. It goes so well with the face as well. Of course, we do get the highlights throughout the knees and the shins. It looks glorious. Now, for you classics collectors out there, here he is alongside KO Henkei Prime. Now, I have been getting a lot of requests to show him alongside some of the Masterpiece Decepticons. Here he is alongside Soundwave, Galvatron, and of course Brawl and Blastoff. Hey, he's not the tallest of the bunch, but definitely a good Voyager scale figure. And for those wondering, I mean, is he going to scale with your Masterpiece figures? Yes, I think he does. Is he Masterpiece aesthetic? I'm not entirely sure. I mean, I am definitely going to be displaying him with my Masterpiece Decepticons. I don't have any Destrons. I would have liked some more, maybe, I don't know, maybe a third-party company can give us a Deathosaurus. That I would absolutely love. In case you don't own any of those figures, here he is with Masterpiece Sideswipe. I know most of you Masterpiece collectors do own some sort of variation of this mold, so that gives you an idea of how tall he really is. Let's get him transformed up into his vehicle mode. Your first port of action is to open up his chest, rotate his head around, push this next section down. That's going to tab in and just slide nicely into the chest. Come round to this shoulder section. You want to rotate this 180 degrees. So that's a complete flip. So the red section is now at the bottom there. Come round to the hand. flip this section all the way up, rotate the hand inwards, and then close that back off. Lift this shoulder section up, very squeaky joint. Bring this joint up, collapse those in together like so, make sure this is still facing downwards, and then just rotate this section around so it's in this position at the top of the shoulder. You're then going to want to bring this section up and over, and they are going to tab in together at the top and at the bottom. Just make sure that they tab fully inwards. Lift this backpack section up, rotate it 180 degrees. Clearance is a little bit of an issue, and just rock it back so it sits into those rear pegs instead, and then this section can just come in and tab in at the front. Flip these clear sections in, flip the feet in, and rotate this 180 degrees, and we're basically going to bend these legs up and over, fold back these red sections, and that is basically our alt mode. Nothing tabs these rear sections in. I would have liked something to do so. I like to also flip open this, and I'm going to put his breast animal on top like that. Actually like this in alt mode. It definitely looks like something off of Mad Max, doesn't it? It's definitely got that kind of Dune buddy, aggressive, kind of futuristic look to it. It also reminds me of something very Energon-esque, especially with the translucent plastics plastered throughout. It's a bit back heavy, it does roll. I love the translucent windscreen, all part of that back kibble. I've got the engine block on the front there. Some nice rocket launching missile things there on the back. Considering that section here doesn't actually tab in and it's just resting on these hinges here, it actually looks pretty darn good. And scale wise, it's not very small, you know, it's a good substance there. It's quite large. Now, although it's probably the least realistic of all of the alt modes in this series, it's actually probably one of my favourites. I love the whole Mad Max kind of futuristic vibe, and this really does pull it off. I would have liked Sandstorm or Springer to look a little bit like this. It's just really nice. It's like a big armoured dune buggy. Now, to go from here into combined mode, which is how I'm going to be displaying him, you want to just pull back these red tab sections, do that on both sides, and also pull back this section here, and you want to rotate that up and round to the top. Straighten out his leg sections by bringing those down, and just grab this wheel section. What we're going to do, we're going to actually want to rotate the thigh, so that rotates all the way round to the center. Come around to the leg, you want to just flip this section here open, and we're going to bring this leg down, but as we bring this down, bring the peg down with it. So as we bring the leg further and further around, we poke the peg through the bottom. This section here is going to fold through this gap and go all the way around. You've now got this peg at the base here. Make sure this part of the leg is collapsed inwards. Come round to the back, just move the tire out of the way and close off the back of that leg. Come to this crotch section, lift this panel up, pull out the extension section, come to the top, and you want to just split these sections out and just move those down. Come to these upper arm sections, you want to rotate this arm around to this position, bring this back section to the back, and this basically is going to twist and rotate over on a double hinge and just tab in to the shoulder section like so. The tyre section here is then also going to rotate. You're going to rotate that all the way around, so then it can just slide in over the side like so. Untab this rear section. That now allows us to rotate these sections down, so they're a tad lower than this section here. Bend this windscreen section back, and then move it down. There's a small hole under there, and a small hole this side. That's now going to locate in those holes either side. The last step is to just rotate this lower torso section 180 degrees. Right, we can now bring in Radamanthus to combine with him. Just a small disclaimer. Head, left, right, up, down. Silly, silly Ben. If we come to the back here, we can actually just unplug this section from back of the head. In all fairness to me, it is plugged in there pretty darn hard. And then that basically folds back in to there and closes off. And then this section clips on around the head. Fold that back up. And then we have a complete full range of motion on the head. Silly, silly Ben. Right, let's combine him. 2 tabs underneath there, slot on there. There's a hole here and a hole here. There's a tab here, there's a tab here. Simple as. So we'll slide him in. That should make a nice secure locking sound when in place. So let's just line everything up. There we go, that's locked in. Then we just want to tab these sections in just to tidy up on each side. That is the full torso mode, and man, it looks sweet as. Love how that all attaches together. Very nice and tidy at the back here as well. Everything tabs in very, very securely, locking into place, and the overall finish doesn't look like 2 individual bots. It looks like it's one large torso, which is fantastic. He is alongside Starsaber. As you can see, he is going to be a tad taller than Starsaber. Now, I'm not going to start putting his arms and legs on until we've got the complete set, because it's really difficult to try and balance him on one arm and one leg. But he is going to be substantially taller, I'd say a head or so taller than Starsaber, which in my opinion is pretty good going. That's a pretty good accurate size. I just love the detailing on him, and I'm so happy I can now move his head up and down and left and right. The legs, the skirts do move, so we're going to be able to bring the legs this far forwards, this far back. You're going to be able to come out to the side. We've got upper thigh rotation. We're going to have forward and backwards motion on the knee. Of course, we're going to get a joint in there, which does allow the knees to bend anyway. So we should be able to get him in some pretty darn dynamic poses. Slowly but surely, our LioKaiser, or Hades, is coming together. Genuinely extremely impressed by this figure. They really have outdone themselves this time. There's a lot of people singing a lot of praise for TFC at the moment. They have really upped their game to compete again with the big boys. Cannot wait to get the other 2 members of this team. Then we can have a freaking awesome combiner. Hasbro is offering us a version of LioKaiser. It consists of 5 bots. That just doesn't cut it for me. I'm sorry, LioKaiser is a 6-figure combiner. Give us 6 figures. If TFC can do it, I'm pretty sure you can. Thanks again to the guys over at Robot Kingdom for making this review possible. Hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, feel free to like, share and subscribe. And until next time, from myself and Cerberus, goodbye.